Hello, good people!
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Leila. Today we have a special video and a special person on my channel. It's my friend Wildan. And he was very kind and agreed to talk about his experiences about his master degree here in Sweden, in Stockholm University. Before we start with our questions, Wildan, could you please present yourself?
Hey everyone, I'm Wildan. You can call me Wildan. I'm from Indonesia, from Java Island, from a small town, Kebumen, maybe if you ever heard about that. So this is my third year in Sweden. I was studying Strategic Information System Management, a master program with this beautiful Paul here. We are studying in the same class, and in fact we were working together on a group work as well, right?
Yes.
So yeah.
This is how we met actually. I have prepared some questions for Wildan and we are gonna start with them. Can you please tell me why did you choose Sweden from all these countries that we have in the world?
An interesting question. Because maybe for people, Sweden is kind of unfamiliar country, right? Especially for education destination. People are more into the UK or something. Yes, in my case, it's because I got a scholarship from the Swedish Institute. That's why I choose Sweden. If I got another country, of course I will choose the other country. But the thing is, I believe that this is also part of the best plan from the God or from the universe, that I really, I feel like home in here in Stockholm, Sweden.
You like it?
I like it, although it's not that long. It's only my third year here. I feel at ease here, feel like home.
Did you know anything about Sweden before you moved here?
Not that much, but I know, as a person, I like to read things about history, especially about the epic of Ragnarok, the twilight of the Nordic gods. So yeah, I'm really interested about that myth. So for example, World Tree, Yggdrasil, and then God Loki, Odin, Thor, and then when I look to the ancient artifact, to their artifact, it was like, it's really fascinating. And then I just found out it's born in here.
Oh,
Everything is in Uppsala. So I think it's not a coincidence, and then the fact that I situated in this very place, which is like my dream place to live. It's close to the old churches, to the water, birds. I can't ask better than this. So
Yeah.
this is the place that.
let me ask you, if when you applied for your studies here in Sweden, did you know anything about the studies here in Sweden? Like, did you have any idea of how it is to study in Sweden, or did you have any friends who did it?
Sweden is pretty much new for me. I just doing my own research about education in Sweden, maybe 2 months or 3 months before my applications. I just googled it and I found Indonesian Student Association in Sweden, and also local chapters for each cities. Like they have chapters in Lund, Uppsala, Stockholm, which is all of their social media is pretty much active. So I got the information about educations from them. So maybe like 60% I got from them, and the other one I got from another Indonesian student that write a blog, which is really helpful. This kind of system, universityadmissions.se, it's pretty new, the concept, and then the student housing concept as well, because in here it's not like the first in first out, that you booked it the first time then you will get the housing. No, but it's counted from the credit days. So I got explanation for these new things from Indonesian association here. They are really active.
So it was helpful for you
really helpful
to read these blogs.
Yes,
and,
yes. So I asked, just inbox them, hey, what should I do? I'm really what do you know, I mean, like, really not sure about this kind of thing, and within 2 hours they replied me, which is like, wow.
Yeah, that's very nice that you have got this help even before you came to Sweden. But now could you tell me about the process of choosing the university, and how comes that you ended up in Stockholm University?
Okay, so the first process, I sign up for university admissions. It's a single account to the whole university in Sweden application.
Yes, exactly. So if you want to apply for any university in Sweden, there is only one website. It's universityadmissions.se, or in Swedish something else. I can put the links. So this is the link that you used.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But at the same time, I also apply for the Swedish Institute scholarship for global professionals. So when I look for the tuition fee, for me it's quite expensive, because it costs almost 70,000 Swedish crowns.
Is it 70,000 per semester, or for
No,
all 2 years?
For it's per semester. So it was 68,900 maybe. So it's like practically 6,900. Yeah, more or less 70,000. Yes, and then basically I just and then I accepted by Stockholm University, which is my first choice, and then after that I automatically eligible to go to the next phase by the Swedish Institute. So my application is going to the next phase. I don't need to tell the Swedish Institute that I passed university admissions at the university that I selected. And this is really something that I really like about Sweden. The whole process is seamless, and it's not complicated, because we don't need to tell the scholarship officer that we already having LOA, or letter of acceptance. And basically it's pretty much simple. It's just one time application, and it's also not I didn't have interview session for them, because there's a lot of candidates. It was like 5,000 maybe, 5,000, and then
But okay, what was the process for the scholarship like? You said that you applied it to Swedish Institute. What was the process there? How did you apply, and how did Stockholm University know that you have got this scholarship? Communication between them and you?
So like at first I applied. Of course, I applied for the program, and then also the scholarship itself in their website in se.se. si.se. They put the timeline for that. When should we apply for the scholarship? When should we apply? And for the deadline for the university admissions. So we undergo to that process first, and then we complete the required document for the scholarship. It was 5, if I'm not mistaken. CV, and then motivation letter. In my year, they provide me with 2 questions, only 2 questions, and then 5,000 characters for answer per questions, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, letter of recommendation. Letter of recommendation, it comes into two type: letter of recommendation from the professional experience, letter of recommendation for non-professional activities, and then your leadership experience. In my case, I was a project coordinator, so I have that experience. So something like that.
How do you remember these? Do you remember these questions from your motivational letter? You had 2.
Yeah, basically it's like first of all, every kind of scholarship, they have their own target. For example, here in Sweden, for Swedish Institute, they aim for the United Nation, what is it? Sustainability development. What is it?
I think I know what you mean, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the correct name.
And then the other scholarship type, it's to strengthen the human capital development in the developing country. So the question that I get, it's also related to the scholarship aim to strengthen the United Nations sustainability agenda. And then the question is, so it was like what's my motivations to study in here, and what is it? Yeah, something like that. And then the second thing, it was about if I provided the opportunity, how will the knowledge in my studies benefits my future.
Did you need to prove your knowledge of English? Did you need to do any additional tests?
It for the English, and also for another academic test, it's underwent by the university. For example, for yes, in my program, I need to have at least 6.5 IELTS average score. Meanwhile, in the other programs, they need like 7, and then GRE as well. So Swedish Institute, they don't need, because like it's already like took place in the university admissions. In that sense, that's why it's really effective, because so many people out there, and then my friend also, when they accepted in a scholarship, even though they already went to the country of the scholarship provider, they still need to undergo university admissions.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a seamless process.
In other countries?
Yes.
So now you have got your scholarship. What was the benefit of getting the scholarship, except of the financial part?
Oh yeah, I now I remember. I haven't answered your question. What about how the university know that I got scholarship from the Swedish Institute or something like that? So first time when I came in Sweden, I need to contact my international student coordinator. So I meet this person, which is not representative for the scholarship committee, but he got authority to give me my bank account and then the documents that I need to get. So I got it from the university student international student coordinator or counselor. So after that, he contacted the committee. So within the next 2 or 3 days, I got my bank account activated, and then the scholarship or stipend. And what I got is, of course, yeah, monthly allowance as a stipend, and then flight allowance from Indonesia to Sweden. And it's also works, like two-way, to come here and to go back if I want to go back. And then beside of that, tuition fee, yes, of course, tuition fee, but it works that every single semester I need to pass at least 75%, otherwise the scholarship will be terminated. Which is also kind of, good in a way, because you
get some pressure to pass the courses.
Yes. And then after that, we got funding. Well, it's summer, guys. It's sunlight.
We live in Sweden, so the sun is hiding behind the clouds, and then it comes out, and then it's raining, and then it's snowing. So don't pay attention to what is happening with us.
Ignore the sunlight, please. For you who living in tropical countries. And in fact, we will have like this kind of weather until the midnight in summer, right? In the peak of summer.
Yeah, I mean,
midnight summer, we have midnight sun.
But not here in Stockholm. No, midnight sun. I mean, we are gonna have bright nights or light nights.
Not that this bright,
but
yeah.
Now it's like really super sunny, but we don't complain. We live in Sweden, we like the sun. So please don't pay attention to all of this.
Yeah. So after that, I also got networking what is it, budget for networking. So I can make chapters that consisted of at least 6 member scholarship holder member.
What do you mean by
So
chapters?
so it's like it called an FGL, or Network for Future Global Leaders. So we can propose some budgets for company visits, seminar, or fika with expert or professional. So yeah, I got 1 year budget for that, but it's not only for me. It's for our chapters, which is in Stockholm. We have Stockholm NFGL, which is consisted of 2 chapters, Koteho, and then SU, Stockholm University, but also Södertörn and Karolinska.
Okay, so these chapters, when we visited Swish,
Yes.
was it a part of it?
Yes.
Okay, so before the corona came, Wildan invited me to visit Swish, which is a company that you use for swishing money, for sending money to each other without involving the bank. Like we swish it in the phones.
Yes. So it
And
works
that-
like in real time.
Okay, yes, exactly. Instant payments. And this is what was a part of this scholarship part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like it's up to us to plan it. So if we want to visit Volvo, Ericsson, or something like that, we can. But at the in my year as a board
Mm-hmm.
board people, so yeah, we went to Sista Science City, and then to Swiss, and also conducted seminar with the ex-Ministry of Education for and Stockholm Resilience Center for social issues.
So Wildan have got the hat because he wants to be nice to his skin and protect. It's all about beauty.
Oh my goodness. It's kind of flashy, the light.
Now we have talked about how you got your scholarship, how you got accepted into the university, and in our case it's Stockholm University. Now let's talk about the courses. So tell me, how do the courses work at Stockholm University, and probably what is the difference between the Indonesian way of teaching the courses and Swedish way of teaching the courses?
Mm-hmm. I would say it's quite different, because in Sweden we have 2 periods in one semester, and then the exam will be conducted in the middle of semester, which is on the after 2 months. So usually when I was studying, all of the exams, it will be like on the last semester before the holiday weeks or something like that. But in here it's like every single 2 months, and then after that we change the subjects. So every semester we study 4 to 5 courses, and then each period we study 2 courses. So that's the different thing. And then what else? When I came to Sweden, I experienced both pre-pandemic and after pandemic. So yeah, in fact, so yeah, we the different thing is online, but now everyone is online. But the interesting is the outbreak, it was started somewhere on February, and then the first case, it was in our campus and in our ferry department.
Would you like to tell me if you liked more the Indonesian way of teaching the courses, like you have the courses for the whole semester and then you do all your exams all at once, or if you found it a bit better or in any other way to have course and then exam, course and then exam?
I think it's better in Swedish way, because we are more motivated to learn, and we are more focused, because in a single period we only studying 2 things instead of 4 or 5. So it's pretty much like, you know, when you play the game, you get 1 skill and then you got another skills as a skill tree. But then if you study all of them in parallel, it's like it messed up your brain. I know, yeah, we can do it, but I mean, it's more holistic way to put if you study 2 in time or 3, so not that much. And let me finish what I said before. So the thing that really interesting for me after the pandemic outbreak, when it's not that popular, only within 2 weeks, Stockholm University can go online. I mean, like it's such a quick decision process, and then it doesn't involve so many procedure. So in this case, like in another places, it takes maybe several months before they went online because they need to get budgets maybe and then some things,
Yes.
procedures. But in here, it's only within 2 weeks, as I can recall, after the case.
We have got the policy from the government that from 16th of March 2020 all universities should be closed. And what Wildan is saying, I think that our department, for our department where we studied, it was very easy to switch to the online learning, because in our campus many of the lectures were already recorded even before the pandemic. So we had we had the freedom to either come to the campus or study from remote. Most of us, we came to the campus, and this is basically how we met, and this is like how we hanged out together. But when this policy came that we are not supposed to go to the universities, to the campuses, everything, for at least for our department, it was like right?
The thing that I like, so whenever we lost in during the class studies, so we want to look back, it's recorded, and then we can access within a single system. So we get a campus account, and then learning portal, and then recording portals.
Exactly.
So it is really nice. And then here the most striking difference is, no matter when you or we are studying here in Sweden, we can choose another courses to the other universities, whether it is related to your program or not, as long as you met the requirement. And there is like some joint programs. For example, entrepreneurship. There is a joint program between KTH Royal Institute, Karolinska, Stockholm University, and Stockholm School of Design. Whether there is another ones, and in fact, you can also have a lecturer from the other universities as external supervisor for your thesis.
Would you like to tell me about the exam process? How was it like?
Oh yeah, the exam process is also very different. You're right. Usually, exam we have like 2 hours, right? You mean
in Indonesia?
In Indonesia or other Asian countries, as far as I know. But in here, we have 4 till 5 hours, so we can stay in the examination hall or room or class for that long, as much as we want. I mean, like maximum 4 or 5 hours. It depends. Meanwhile, in the for the other studies, it's also like even like 2 days for home test, which is, I mean,
was it a cultural shock?
Yeah, it's kind of shock in a good way, because it's more realistic, because maybe we won't remember what we studied, and then when we are more relaxed, we tend to retain those memories longer.
Exactly.
Because we really learn it, instead of memorizing or something. In this case, it's not like short-term memory.
Yes. Was it like the exams in Indonesia and in Sweden? Were they similar? Not in the sense of time, but just like in general. How similar or different were they?
I would say it's kind of different, even though it maybe looks the same. What I mean is, you know, during the exams, the lecturer they will come to the class to check whether we have questions or not.
In what country?
Here in
In
Sweden.
Sweden.
But
Right,
in my country it's also like that. But usually it's like, yeah, just if you have like questions. So yeah. But in here, if we really have a questions that requires the lecturer to make clear something, it will take as much as you need to feel, you know, to get your answer or your issue resolved.
Exactly. So sometimes during the exams, when we got some question and we, for example, we didn't understand this question, we could contact the lecturer, the teacher.
Even make a call.
Sometimes we could call him or her and ask for clarifications, which was very, very nice.
During the pandemic, we can just call. I mean, like it's not possible, in at least in my university or in Indonesia.
In Indonesia.
Yeah, because it's like we are respecting the lecturer. It's their private time or something, even though it's during the exam. But in here we can just do that, and in here, lecturer and student relationship, it's here in the Sweden when they said about flight hierarchy, it's true. It's literally true. So it's like they're respecting us, and we respect them as well. Yes. So it's like basically we can just talk like Paul or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like a two-way respect. It's not only us students who respect the teacher, the lecturer, this doctor, professor, but also they show the respect to us, which is, yeah, I appreciate it.
And I like the way of our lecturer, Yelena. Do you remember that? Yes. She always told us there is, and also another lecturer, by the way, there is no such stupid questions. Please feel free to interrupt me. Our lecturer, before they begin the class, they always say that.
Yes, they always said that if you have any questions, make sure to interrupt. I understand that sometimes I can express myself in an unclear way or something. And it was also that is what we talked a lot about, that I encouraged Wildan to ask questions. Do you remember?
Yes.
Because sometimes we sat at the lectures and then we didn't understand something. And then Wildan asked me, Leila, did you understand this? And I said, no, I have no idea. But then I encouraged you to ask this question to the teacher, but you were a bit, you were not afraid, but you were still
taken aback.
Yes, but like, no, it's the teacher, I don't want to do that. Yes.
Because like at the other side, I also feel like, what if I said something or ask something that it's already being said, and then I was like, okay, but in this case, I saw that people ask the questions that already like discussed before, but then still the teacher they answer us.
They still answered, yes. So even if the teacher says something, but sometimes you black out and you like sometimes your mind just flies away and you don't pay attention, and then after some time you like come back, or if you don't understand something, you can ask the teacher, hey, could you please explain? Like, I know that you already mentioned it, but could you explain it again? I would appreciate it. And it was very nice of the teachers, right?
Yes. Not to mention that we also have like guest lectures that I know that another universities you also have guest lectures, but the thing is what maybe not different, but what's special for me at least, or for us, that our campus located in the IT what is it called, like IT innovation area, where the IT campus is located, not only Stockholm University, and then also where the IT companies located,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Ericsson, IBM, Microsoft, Adobe,
Like
anything like that.
these giants, they are located in
It's
there.
basically our
Yes.
neighbor,
Yeah, exactly. It's like 5 minutes away from our
walking,
campus.
just by walking. So whenever we want to do some interviews for group works or something like that, it's pretty much more approachable.
Could you tell us about the experience about approaching
Mm.
people like in the companies? How was your experience?
Basically, I understand that physical distance, it doesn't really matter. Even though if we are close to them, we are not that much. It will be the same whether I'm closing by them or not. But since the company, those IT companies, they usually have like summer games or events, open house or something like that, which we can attend as a student. We can get networks, gain networking from that, and then we can just ask them about the possibilities for interview, or we can just Google their email address or even their, yeah, anything about them, and then we just email them, and then we voila, got an answer within what,
Well,
within 2 hours or within a single day. Doesn't matter if he is CEO or CTO, CI or anything. Here, people do respect other people, and yeah, I mean, like, usually it's not possible in my experience. For example, if I email top level in the government
in
ministry
Indonesia?
or, yeah, or in the company, it takes a week, 2 week maybe, to get answered. But
Yeah.
in here, it's within a single day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then if they don't have time, they say, sorry, I don't have time. But otherwise, we experience that the top level people, C-level people at these companies were very approachable and very helpful. What was your experience about the seminars in Sweden? Or at our program, the seminars? How were they, in your opinion?
It's nice. It was a mixed with people from different programs, right? And even from the exchange that enrolled in other master programs. But we are involved together because, when you are studying IT, we have like pretty much similarities or study intersections. And then we just went to the same class, and then we just mixed together, make a group, something like that. I think that make us learn about multicultural things, communications,
Yes,
something like that.
exactly. The group work in Sweden is very, very important. It's impossible to do any course without being in a group and doing your assignments in a group. How was your experience? Did you have the same thing in Indonesia? Have group works, or was it very individual?
It's the same, but in this case, in Stockholm University, which is, it's also it's the distinct characters of our campus as well. Here we are encouraged to even to have a group for our thesis instead of finishing the thesis by ourselves, because like the probability that people will finish their thesis on time when they work together, so like maximum two.
How was the work process of writing thesis? Could you tell us about that?
So I write my thesis during the pandemic. It started on May 2021 last year, and then it was finished on October. So I got online mentorship with my supervisor, a professor from my university, and then co-supervisor. At that time, it was a PhD student in our program as well. So yeah, we met every 2 weeks or something like that. We start a milestone for each weeks, for each 2 weeks or something like that, and then yeah, So my thesis was about digital barriers in the Swedish healthcare with a case study in Kronoberg region. So for my thesis, I collected data from the Kronoberg region. Mostly we met in online session. So yeah, and it was still in the peak of pandemic, so it's not possible for me to go to their health institutions. Not.
How did you choose the topic? Was it your choice, or was it the choice of your professor / supervisor?
So here we can take a look to kind of what is it like in the forum. They have the lecturer have suggested topics, and then under their guidance. But we can also pick our own topic. At the time, I picked up the topics that was posted in the thesis portal, which is also that's the area that I was interested in, the IT governance. So yeah, I picked that topic, and then I just invite another what is it like a partner for that. So yeah, it's pretty much our progress is really trackable. So if I finish these milestones, it will be written in the website as well, in the portal, in the dashboard. So it's like it's good in that sense. It's like we can see our progress like
Visually.
yes.
So since you wrote together with your friend this master thesis, how were you graded?
Grading, I think there is like the standards about the research quality, and then the writings as well, the research design, and then the structure of our research, which is it was supervised by our supervisors, but at the end it's us who decide about the content of the research. So it was credited based on that. I mean, like how we deliver the research with our thinking structure, or about our research synthesize, the logic behind of it, and then the most important is our research questions about its novelty, and then about how it will be benefit for the scientific community or something like that.
What was challenging about writing master thesis? You can take it from any point.
First is myself. I mean, when I don't have that many contacts in Sweden, I do have, but in this area I didn't have that many. So it's kind of challenge for me. But there is always I always find a way to get through this one. And then the other challenge is you know, it's really true when we work just by ourselves. There is a lot of diversions, and then there is a lot of time when we fell down, and then we postpone our works. But when we work together, we can just switch, or we can work together, and then we can you know, encourage each other, so we can keep in track. And that's true. I finished a bit longer than I expected, like extended 2 months, but
just to clarify for those of you who don't know, usually master thesis in Sweden is written like for 1 semester, and in your case you needed extension, and you got it.
yes,
right?
And then my professor also provided a letter of support to my to the immigration office, because I need my stay for study. It was ended on June, and then on
June 2021.
yes, and May or April, I just asked my supervisor that I need the reason to stay longer in Sweden for my study, and then he provides me an attestation letter. And guess how long is it? I asked him like the night before, and then the other day in the morning I just got it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And what did you like about writing the master thesis? Like, you talked about challenges. What was advantages, or something you learned, or some lessons that you took from writing master thesis?
I think it trained me to think in structured logic. Some people say that this is rubbish.
So we changed our location a bit because it was too sunny. But let's continue with more questions about the master thesis.
So yeah, like I said before, it was, for some people it's like a waste of time or something like that, because we won't use it in real life. But in fact, it teach me how to, in my perspective, it teach me how to structurize our way of thinking. So for example, questions. So what is a good quality questions? It sounds I mean it sounds philosophical in some way, and it's also scientific in another way. And then how we structured our way of thinking, reasoning, synthesizing the how to find the answer. So for example, we have these kind of questions. How can we answer these questions in a good way, in a sharp way to, and then first sometimes we need to define the problem first, because sometimes we want to solve, for example, we want to solve our situation in life, but sometimes we don't know clearly what is our problems. Sometimes we didn't write them down, because like, you know, I was working as a business analyst in an IT company. My supervisor always said this to me whenever I was in a tight spot. Wildan, you know, writing down your problems. So, and listing our problems, it's like solving 50% solving the problems themselves. So yeah, in this sense, that's true.
I think asking the right questions and structuring the questions in the right way is very important when you write any scientific papers.
Yes.
And in Swedish universities, at least what I studied, I noticed that there is a lot, like you write quite a lot of papers, and asking the right question is one of the like important parts of your anything you write, especially for the master thesis, right? Yes.
Because yeah, like good, when we talk about good, what kind of standard good is, it's kind of relative, but we define ourselves, and then to answer our questions, or like if we in the practicalities, if we want to solve our problems in life, we need to make a scope. Sometimes we tend to think like more than it required. Sometimes we tend to exaggerate things that, oh, if, for example, if we fail in this part and then we failed also in the other parts, actually we learn to put a scope as well.
Yes. You have written your master thesis. What was the next step, like the defense? How did it look like, the defense of your master thesis?
It's less scary, I think, because it's more into like a discussion, two-way interaction between the examiners and then the audience as well. The audience were students. They were students. So yeah, I remember back then when in my bachelor I have 3.5 hours for my thesis defense, and it was stressful. And in here it only take 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes, 1 hour. So,
I can say that I was like in our university, in our department, when people upload their master theses, our students in the department, especially probably the peers, we are supposed to give comments to these master theses. And for some reason I chose his master thesis. I just thought that the topic was interesting, so I clicked on it and I saw your name. So it was very interesting. So my job as a peer, it was to check his master thesis and give my comments. And the comments could be like how you can improve this thesis. I think that this sounds a bit unclear. Could you explain how does it look like? So for me, like I read this master thesis and gave my comments, and I sent you my comments to you before we had the real master thesis defense? Because I was supposed to be a part of this master thesis defense.
I think like there is a sections to the opponents to upload their feedback. So she was uploading the feedback. It's not like because we are friend in real life, and then she Wildan, this is what I will ask. No, not something like that. I mean,
Exactly.
because I believe in Leila, and I as a person I see her that she is sharp at doing like for analysis, and then I didn't ask about what will be your questions tomorrow or something like that. It's simply just, even though it's like you were my opponent, but it's like can you explain more about this? It's not really clear enough or something like that. And there is another audience which is a participant.
Exactly.
So participants, and then opponents, and then our lecturers.
Exactly. So yeah, probably I expressed myself a bit unclearly, obviously. I uploaded my comments to the system, but also at the same time, to make it easier for Wildan, just because we are friends, I sent my comments even to him, so he could see my comments, and it wasn't like a shock for you during the opposition. So now when you have finished your degree, what do you think was the best thing about studies here in Sweden?
What is it? The most valuable thing that I got was like, it's not the most important. It's not the classroom studies, but studies in life. I learned how to communicate in a more effective way with people from different cultures, and then for to peoples with different experiences or something like that. Basically, I learned to be more humane in a way, because in here people are more less stressful. I mean, like they more, I don't know how to put, like for example, if I walk to the stores and then I went there with I mean, like just regular clothing, and then ask about trivial questions about product, they will just answer it. And then when we really need help about to customer service, and then we email them or call them, they gave the time. And then people also respect us, whether in work or in personal life. Whenever we are, I'm sorry, I am sick and I not work today, and I'm sorry, my children is sick or something like that. And here it's easy to get day offs because of unexpected things.
So you like the work-life balance, but in this case it was more student life balance, no?
Everything, because it's not only student life balance. When I look back, although I got scholarship, I just see the bills that I need to pay. I mean, like I just make calculations for my daily life, how much I spend in the whole time for 2 years. And for tuitions it costs a fortune. But then when I see everything, in life, to learn, it really takes time. For example, for me to be able to be an assertive person, and then I mean, some, you know, as a people from Asian countries, we tend to when we want to talk about our objections, we tend to take a back or something like that. And in here we learn how to explain. I think to study here is expensive, but the ones that I gain, it's more the value, it's bigger than the cost. Even though, yeah, we can learn that in different in our country as well or something like that. No, it's different. So yeah.
You mean that you developed more as a person?
Yes, because in here, like okay, if you are having good credits, we know that credit's not everything, by the fact that even with people with high status in a multinational IT company that we start that became our lecturer in the class, they're so humble. So why should we be so cocky or something like that? And then the way they put the exams, it instead of pressing us with the rules of the exams, of the studies or something like that, they didn't do it. At the end of the day, we might forget about those stuff, so they just let us learn, gave us like 5 or 4 hours. Sometimes it's open book or not.
Yes.
But many times they were open books, right?
At least in our program we had
Yeah.
open books. Open book exam means that our books were open. We could use all the material during the exam. It was in this case our questions were not necessarily fact based. They were more of analytical character, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you. It's very like chill, jantelagen. You don't think that you are better than others.
Yes. It's like, what is it? Lagom, right?
Jantelagen.
Jantelagen. One of them is like, trying. Sorry, my phone. So
It's okay.
lagom in everything. So to studies, to works, so basically everything. You put everything in balance. Right?
And what do you think in general about your experience in Sweden? Now you have lived here for 3 years. You have seen both pre-pandemic Sweden, the pandemic Sweden, and now post-pandemic Sweden.
There is not much difference. I mean, people here, they have better awareness when it comes to social responsibilities, to keeping distance or stuffs like that. Basically, when the government said we should do these things, it always based on scientific authorities research, and then the people trust to the government also high in here. So yeah, I like to live in here because everything is, I don't know, for example, this kind of good weather, this kind of nice pristine sky, fresh air, it's kind of expensive maybe in some countries, or because you can only have this in maybe in a prestigious house estate complex or area. But in here you can have it everywhere, and then you can drink water everywhere. It's like, it's pretty much put our life in ease. And then when you work in here, your partner or your spouse and your children automatically get benefits. You don't need to pay the educations, universities.
Exactly.
So, and also healthcare as well, which basically it's the most important part in life. We need to secure our money maybe for our health if something happened, and our offspring's educations, because how the parents worry, right? What about the tuition fee?
Yes.
What about the hospital or something like that? And in here it's provided by the government.
Exactly. So I come from Kyrgyz Republic, and I completely relate to everything you say, because it's also in our country. Now I have lived in Sweden for 15 years, but here it's very balanced. Like everything is made for you, and everything is made for people. Like this country is for people, and
Yes.
to make people's life easy.
Yes, and it's not like we talk that we hate our country of origin or something like
Exactly.
that. I mean, there is no such perfect place. For example, people say that Finland and New Zealand, they are the happiest people on earth, but actually it depends on what characteristic they said. The parameter is like freedom of speech or something like that, and then in here we have it. But yeah, no, there is no perfect countries. Of course there is some, how to say, like issues in here as well.
Yeah, of course.
And then back then our country, it's also beautiful, people are also good, but somehow we feeling comfortable in here, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So that's what we feel.
Yes. And now when you're here, what would you wish to know about Sweden, or studies in Sweden, or anything related to Sweden? What would you like to know before you came here?
before I came here.
Like you wish, like this thing, I wish I knew it before I came here.
It's about student housing.
Okay.
Because it's not only works in the student housing as well, but for the citizen apartment. So in here we can get accommodation for as a family or as a person, but then you need to accumulate the credit days as well. So we can get it from Stockholm University, I think.
Exactly.
So,
and how did you get this apartment as a student?
so I got the information from the Indonesian Student Association that I need to start how to say, like sign up for the student union membership on May, if I'm not mistaken. So by the time on August I arrive here, I already have like 90 days of credits.
Oh,
and then I
that's
can
nice.
apply, and then I can apply for the housing. So here I stay at my, because I don't have housing at the time. Stockholm University, unfortunately, they didn't provide me housing, unlike the other universities, which is also good because the housings will be surging because it's third party provided by the universities, while it's provided by the others. So I got my housing after 2 months, which requires me to have 116 at least, and at the time I have 118.
Okay.
So I'm pretty much lucky to get here, because in here you need to have 600 or 900, basically like 2 years.
Exactly. I think I mentioned in a couple of videos that in like in Sweden and in Stockholm in general, it's very, very hard to find an apartment and accommodation, and especially for international students like
Yes.
you, Wildan.
Yes.
Like it is a hustle to get a place here. So it was very good that you found it.
And also maybe the essential things about how medical benefit works, about how can we get access to medical institutions, is also important.
You wish you knew it before you came to Sweden.
Yes.
Yeah. What was special about it? How?
We need to in case it's super emergency, we need to book the time.
Okay.
And then about the price as well, because at first I was thinking, oh, it must be super expensive in here, but in fact after my fourth visit, after that, it was the consultation with doctor and everything, even the laboratory checks, it was free for a year. And then after that we need to pay again until we reach this much, which is not only not that much. It's per visit it was 200, and then after I got 1,200 almost, then I got free period for 1 year.
Exactly.
And it's also you can use this for any kind of medical or clinical treatments, whether it's what is it, like physical things, or psychiatric or psychological things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also here it's also important that sometimes winter can be harsh, and when you're living alone it's super severe for you to bear everything just by yourself. So in here it will be easier, for not easier, I mean, like, it will be nice if I know we have hotline, 24 hours hotline for that, and even like chat service with people, with the helpers. So you are not alone. It's important because I only knew that once after my second year.
Yeah,
So,
that's great to know, because I had no idea either, and I have been here for a long time, but I had no idea about this.
And they really the medical people, medical staffs, the psychiatrists, the practitioners, they sees you as a human. They respect you no matter how your issue is. They never regard it as a trivial or something. For example, you have like tendency for what is it, depression or stress because of this, because of that. They understand, because you are from another country. That's fine, and they're willing to listen.
I want to round up this conversation with last question, and my last question would be, what what would you like to say to the audience that wants to move to Sweden and to study in Sweden or to work? What is your speech?
Just do it. Just start it. Don't judge yourself before the universe even make decisions, or before God make decisions. So just do it. We never know where we will land it. For example, if you want to stay in Scandinavian countries or in Sweden, but then you are not sure about yourself. Oh, I'm not that smart. I'm not smart myself. But the thing is, I give myself chance and start it. That's the most important. So if you want to study in Sweden, just start it. So in which universities, which cities, what kind of options that you have? Is it scholarship? And then if it's scholarships, what kind of scholarships? And then what should you do? For me, it takes a year to prepare everything. So it depends for other people. So best of luck for you guys.
Thank you very much, Wildan, for giving me your time. I'm very, very fortunate.
It's my pleasure as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.